that kind of hopeful, should I go ahead and invest in some preventative Botox? It's all right there. I also really like that kind of open 60s collar that goes along with my 60s shag haircut. You guys, I'm just a package. So babe, what you're gonna see on there are pictures of look, the first one, it's Rodney. Yeah. Well, welcome to Cannon Street Art Center. On behalf of the City of Charleston, on behalf of the Office of Cultural Affairs, if you've not been here before, please come back. We can't wait to have you join us again. And on behalf of CURE's staff, of which we're here, on behalf of our board of directors, on behalf of our choral ensemble, welcome to CURE Theater. Cannon Street Art Center is the home of CURE Theater. We're in residence here. I see some faces that I recognize, and I really want to encourage you to make sure you follow us on social media. Get in touch with Megan McMahon, she's extraordinary, and make sure you take advantage of some of the different ways that you can see CURE. There's all kinds of incentives and programs to make our work accessible. So we want to make sure that you take some time to figure that out and join us. CURE was founded in 2003 by my partner in crime, really, and in all things. We have 5 children. So we have kind of lived a life together. Our 6th child is CURE Theater, for sure. In 2003, we had this idea that what Charleston really lacked was a professional, contemporary theater. So there's all kinds of theaters in Charleston, but we wanted to produce work that was a regional premiere and world premieres, because you know there's such an appetite for that in a modest-sized urban center in Charleston, South Carolina. So when we first founded CURE back in 2003, I was pregnant with child number 4, and everyone told me it wouldn't work. So we were down at the, what was it called, babe? You're not paying attention.
I didn't work today.
You know, it's okay. I'll just stand here by you and we'll just go through this whole thing together. Just you and I. Like we go through life.
Yeah.
Everyone told me the farmer's market, thanks for the help, that it was going to fail. So I left in tears, y'all. Left crying. Remember, I was pregnant. It was horrifying. But you know what? We persevered. And here we are. And for those of you who have joined us, or for those of you who are considering joining us, I want to let you know that we are celebrating something that's really extraordinary. This year is our 20th anniversary season. So for all those hateful naysayers back in 2003, didn't we prove them wrong? Kind of. Really, you all proved them wrong. Because it's one thing to produce art, it's another more elevated thing to consume it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you for helping us make it for 19 years, helping us be in a position where we're celebrating our 20th anniversary season. So we're here to talk about Ethos. So I wrote something for y'all, because I'm going to read a couple things for you guys today. Ethos. Ethos is the characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or community as manifested in its beliefs and aspirations. Oxford Dictionary. Ethos is the distinguishing character, listen closely, distinguishing character, sentiment, moral nature, or guiding beliefs of a person, group, or institution. Also ethic, that's Merriam-Webster. Okay, distinguishing character, sentiment, moral nature, or guiding beliefs of a person, group, or institution. Ethos is a Greek word meaning character. Okay, I get character, I traffic in character, my stock and trade is characters, so that makes a lot of sense to me, but this is what I wrote. I don't really want to talk about ethos. I think it's difficult to grasp. I think it's challenging to define. I think it's a concept that's best considered upon reflection of a thing. When we look back and review a person, a place, a moment in time, and we can say, yes, I see it clearly for what it was, or yes, I think I understand what drove them, or yes, I am who I am, I think what I think, because I am of that time. I am of that place. But when we're in it, constructing it, living it, experiencing it, considering our ethos is a luxury. It's amorphous, uncertain, and not to be trusted. It's like a rip current, and we unsuspecting swimmers find ourselves carried miles off course. The funny yellow house by which we gauged our position, now a frighteningly small dot upon the horizon as we begin to panic swim our way back toward it. Ethos. What the F does that mean? And I really wanted to say the word, but I'm afraid to, so I just used the letter F. Okay, guys, but then I realized that this is all bullshit. This is just resistance. And we're going to talk a lot about resistance in a minute, because I do know what ethos is. So let's pump the brakes. Let's go ahead and talk about resistance. I'm very familiar with resistance. I think probably as creative people, and which I love CreativeMornings, we are all creative. Resistance is our best friend. Who is familiar with Steven Pressfield? Anybody here? The writer Steven Pressfield in his book, The War of Art? Oh my gosh, y'all. Don't walk, run to your Kindle and download The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. And I would love to tell you that this brain trust that is bringing The War of Art to you is all for me. It's not. It's from Rodney. It's been in our Kindle for decades. I finally got inside it when my own resistance was at such a pitch that it kind of puts you into a tailspin. So what is resistance? Steven Pressfield defines it pretty simply. It's a negative force in the world that keeps you from fulfilling your dreams. I really want to talk to you guys about ethos, but I actually prefer to resist. The truth is, I can talk about it. I can relate it to the work of pure theater, and I'm going to in a moment. But more on resistance. It comes in a lot of forms. It's different for all of us, but it's uniquely capable of the same result, that we do not fulfill our dreams. It's also relentless. We'll fight it anew each and every day. So why all this resistance? Well, Steven Pressfield talks about the things that elicit it. It's pursuit of any calling in writing, painting, music, film, dance, or any creative art, however marginal or unconventional. However marginal or unconventional. I love that. Launching any entrepreneurial venture or enterprise for profit or otherwise, pure theater is the otherwise. Any diet or health plan can elicit resistance. Any program of spiritual advancement, any activity whose aim is to tighten your abdominal muscles. Any course or program designed to overcome an unwholesome habit or addiction. Education of any kind. Any act of political, moral, or ethical courage, including the decision to change for the better, some unworthy pattern or thought or conduct in ourselves. Any act that entails commitment of the heart. The decision to get married, to have a child, to weather a rocky patch in a relationship. The taking of any principled stand in the face of adversity. Those were just 11 things that can elicit your resistance. And if we really went back and looked at that list again, I think that those 11 things pretty much sum up anything that's worth doing in life. So why the fuck is it so hard? Well, because it's going to manifest in procrastination. It's going to manifest in immediate gratification of any kind. It could be vice, it could be sex, anything. Cones of chaos, that is one. As my staff will tell you, cones of chaos is one of my personal favorites. Self-medication, unhappiness, criticism, both of yourself and others, are a form of resistance. Self-doubt, oh my gosh, riddled with self-doubt. Fear. So at Pure, we say that work finds you for a reason. When you were to perform in a play at Pure, we say there's a reason you're doing that play, not another one. There's a reason that those jerks in Asheville decided that we were going to talk about ethos. why was it, let's talk about theater. No, let's talk about ethos. The work found me for a reason because it wasn't something that I immediately connected to. It wasn't something that I wanted to open myself up to and talk to you about. It was something that was difficult for me. It was something that felt like I needed to be buttoned up, that I wasn't good enough to unpack ethos. Even though I really do think we built a company that's foundation is in pretty strong moral center about the work that we do, but I still didn't want to share it. All of my resistance came piling in, and I procrastinated. And even as I stand before you right now, I'm riddled with self-doubt and hoping that you just like me. How many people have ever entered a room and felt that way? Fuck yeah, raise your hands. That's all of us, right? Dude, if I go to a party, I'm looking for the plant to stand behind. I hang on to that man in the corner like he is a life raft. It's hard. And one of the hardest things that we do is define ourselves as creators, is to own it and say, I am a dancer. I am a choreographer. I'm a director. I am an actor. I am a writer. I am a boss. I am a partner. I am a mother. I'm someone's daughter. Let's talk about the ethos of Pure. So we have a manifesto, and I'd like to read it to you. I think it says a lot about who we are. Actually, no. I think it says everything about who we are. What the ancients understood about theater is its healing power, the catharsis, the communal purging of emotions. Charleston lives and breathes. In this city that built our nation's first theater, in this place where beauty and brutality are forever fused, we depend upon the communion between people on stage performing and people in an audience lifted out of themselves into another's mind, heart, and soul to better understand one another and ourselves. And while we live in a world that conditions us to conform, a world that tells us what to say and how to say it, what's beautiful and what's not, whose voice matters and whose doesn't, theater frees us to explore the in-between and ask why. At Pure, we believe theater is the relentless pursuit of why. And every scene, every moment, every performance has the power to change our lives and alter destinies. Because theater compels us to notice the details that make us human. The shift in expression, words spoken and not, the softest sigh, in hands folded, in fists clenched. Because theater, like each of us, is present tense, breathing and pulsing with life, capable of things strange and terrible and triumphant. And through it, we discover the collective heartbeat that is our humanity. And in that moment, we change forever for the better. At Pure, we make 3 promises to our audience. That we will only tell you stories worth listening to, that we will always strive for excellence, we will always gift you something to talk about when you leave the theater. Work finds you for a reason, and your work today is calling to you for a reason. There is a path that you uniquely are meant to walk. And in doing so, you will find the highest nature of yourself. And that really is the ultimate gift. Because from that place, it's how we share who we are and elevate everyone else around us to do the same. So we're an ensemble-based company. There's, I think, more than 20 of us. I can't really remember the exact number right now. They're theater artists. They call pure theater their home. And there's two things we say before we walk on stage. The first is, I've got your back, which means that there's nothing that you can come up with on this stage that I can't help you get out of. I've got your back. You know, I see it with tape decks. Dude, you can let each other fail up there? No way. If we look at our lives and who we walk through the world with, how many people's backs do you have? That is such a state of grace. The other thing that we say before we walk on stage is lucky us. Lucky, lucky us. Because if there is one thing that I have learned through, I don't know, whatever the hell pure theater is, this crazy work that has been going on for now, it seems so long. For every morning that resistance hits me in the face as I pour a cup of coffee and listen to the bird song, because I am a morning person, I love the mornings. I've learned that you have to go through your days with gratitude. Putting your feet on the floor, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this rug, thank you for these warm blankets, thank you for this toothbrush, thank you for this coffee, thank you for Rodney, thank you for my children, thank you for pure theater, and for all the trials and tribulations, for all the victories, for all the defeats, for everything that makes me who I am, that forges me in this fire, so that we can wake up and begin again. Equal measures of grace and gratitude. I think if we just put that in our minds, in whatever meditative practice we have, and say, this is how I want to try to live my days, knowing that begin again is the practice, grace and gratitude. And when we fail, because we will, because we're human, we just simply begin again. Y'all, thank you. Thank you, Creative Mornings. Thanks, y'all.